Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and today we're gonna be having a rant. I genuinely feel like the odd one out, and that doesn't happen to me very often in the Sims community. Usually, like when a new pack is announced, I feel like I'm usually with the majority of people, like either being ridiculously excited for a new pack, or if it's not like a pack that most of us are going to enjoy, then I usually feel like quite comforted in the fact that I'm not alone in thinking like, hey, this isn't the pack for me. But for Snowy Escape, I really wasn't that excited by it. I think the world's very pretty. It's just not my kind of pack. I don't think it adds a lot. I think it's a glorified game pack. And now again, I'm thinking, is this new pack that is coming out, Dream Home Decorator, the brand new game pack for The Sims 4, is this a glorified stuff pack? And I basically wanted to do this video today because yesterday the Sims team actually did their producer walkthrough. They did a stream over on Twitch, also here on YouTube. I'll link it down below in case you missed it. So I'm basically gonna be summarizing what they went through in that stream and just really giving my opinion and thoughts and feedback on it and how I feel about the pack, because I feel like I just need to get everything out. I need it all out in the open. We started off in Create a Sim. I really love the look of the feminine Create a Sim. Masculine is a little bit disappointing. When is it not? I feel like we never get anything new for the masculine Sims, but I will check all of that out when I get my hands on it. I'll be doing a Create a Sim video. The more important thing about Create a Sim is the fact that we are getting likes and dislikes. And those likes and dislikes were actually the sort of teased little new icon under the aspiration. People were thinking, is this a secondary aspiration? Is this like zodiac signs? But no, they are in fact favorites, and there's 3 different options coming with base game, and then there's an extra option for adults and teens and above, I think, coming in the new pack. So you get to pick your Sims' favorite music, their favorite color, and their favorite activities slash hobbies. I don't really want to say it's hobbies because I feel like there's so much more they could do with like a proper hobby system, especially based off what we saw yesterday. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, because hobbies have been a passion project of mine for a long time. I've constantly said for years and years that we need more hobbies, and a thorough hobby system would be incredible in The Sims 4 to give our Sims more personality. And then the teens, I'm assuming, or adults and above, actually have one for decor. I don't know a lot about decor. I'm not great at knowing what things are and what time period they're from, and builder fashion. That is not my forte in the game. Maybe this will help. And I really like that we're finally getting likes and dislikes. However, I am slightly disappointed by what I saw in the actual live stream when it came to likes and dislikes. I wish that they weren't solely based on emotions. I am the first person to say I think emotions and the emotional system is ridiculously screwed up in The Sims 4. It's oversaturated. You have emotions just trying to fight against each other at all times, at all places, because there's so many outside things affecting them, the decor, how a Sim's traits are making them feel. There's so many outside influences when it comes to the emotion system. We need an emotional system rejig, because I knew that this was going to be an issue for years, especially with new packs coming out and just adding more and more buffs. Most new things that are introduced into the game are reliant on that system, and it's way oversaturated. There's just absolutely no use to it anymore because everything's conflicting with one another. And they had a Sim actually dislike kids' music. She was listening to music and she did get tense, and this is only going to get worse if you have the Bust the Dust kit, because that just gives you an inspired moodlet at all times, or a tense moodlet if your house is dirty. So it's gonna be even worse, but they were only playing with base game and the new pack, and still the base game emotions were overriding like the tenseness that she felt. Eventually they cheated the emotions away and she was feeling tense due to listening to kids' music. And also she disliked cooking. They had her cook. It did drain her fun, which this is what I want more of. I want like less like, here's an emotional burst of feeling like tense or uncomfortable for a dislike and happy. But instead of it just giving buffs, I would have preferred this, and they didn't talk about this, so I'm assuming it's not there. I could completely eat my words and it could be there, but considering they didn't talk about it, I don't think it would be. But I would have preferred if hobbies actually affected how quickly or how slowly your Sims actually got those skills. It feels weird to me that a sim could absolutely hate something and yet the skill is so easy to acquire. Like, skills are easy to acquire in The Sims 4 anyway. For example, if a sim did dislike cooking, yes, it lowered their fun, and yes, it could give them a buff, but also it could mean that like the cooking skill went up a lot more slowly just because they weren't interested in that whatsoever. Like I said, you can choose 20 of these likes and dislikes in Create a Sim. You can also leave some of them empty, and as your sim is like going through and like playing the game, you can get a pop-up that says, hey, your sim seems to be showing interest in, they use video games as an example, and you could add that as something that they liked. And it also messes with the autonomy, which I like. I like the fact that if a sim dislikes fitness, they won't be doing push-ups all the time. I like the fact that if they do like video games, you're probably gonna notice them go and like pick up a controller more often than they originally would. That is something that is great. Yes, I still want like a free time with more hobbies and obviously like a more thought out system, but this could be the start of it. It could also be the start for a chemistry system, but I do think the emotional system needs to be looked at before we get those things added on. And then I guess after that, all that's really left to talk about is whether this is a game pack in my eyes. I can absolutely see where the budget went in this pack because there's a lot of modular furniture. I'm a really big fan of this modular furniture as well. They went into the career and you could create walk-in wardrobes. There was shelves that you could like stack together and place around together. It looked really, really cool. Obviously, we are getting those sectional sofas as well, which again are all modular. I always say chaise lounge, so I'm just gonna continue to say that because I can. But we're getting those, and I can definitely see them working the same way as relaxing on beds, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping, and I said this in my trailer reaction, I'm hoping that Sims can talk to one another, because like when they lounge in a bed, they actually can't have a conversation. It would be very unfortunate if like your sim was trying to relax and watch TV on a chaise lounge and then someone tried to talk to them and they had to get up and move to resume a conversation. Hopefully that's been fixed. Bunk beds have also been fixed. You can now have double beds, couches, desks. You can have like 2 tiles taken up under a bunk bed now, thankfully. So yeah, we get all of these new objects, and that's definitely where the budget has gone. Like, people always say kitchens are super hard to make in The Sims 4 because they are like puzzle pieces and you have to create so many different objects for them, which I get, but that also scares me because is that now gonna also become an excuse for sofas? I know not every single pack like going forward has to have one of these like modular sofas that you can create or sectional sofas, but like, what if they do put a sectional sofa in the new pack and then they're just like, oh, well, this took loads of time to do because we had to come up with all of the sections and make it work together, and that's why we don't have other objects? Like, that I am worried about. And although the budget sort of went on all of that furniture and like being able to like snap things to each other, which is really cool, don't get me wrong, I love the furniture. If I weren't getting this pack, hopefully through the Game Changer program, I would personally go out and buy this pack for the furniture. But it does feel like a glorified stuff pack. And I like the idea of the career as well. It seems super fun. Like, you have to go in and get to know your client. You have to know their likes and dislikes. That can play a role on whether they love it or whether they hate it. You can also, as you gain reputation in your career, which in of itself is quite confusing because we have a separate reputation in Get Famous, but then we have this reputation for Dream Home, which I get why they did it, because if you have Dream Home but you don't have Get Famous, obviously two separate reputation systems. It basically just seems to work the same way that progression works throughout careers. So as you get more well known, brands can start contacting you. They didn't actually say what like brands gave to you, but brands could start contacting you. You could actually get celebrity clients if you do have Get Famous. And you can also move on to those community lots, which I think is cool. You can also get gigs that renovate a room or an entire floor, which again is pretty cool. Like, I like the sound of it. However, the gameplay is basically just what we've had in the game since the base game. It's build and buy mode, and I still hold that stance of like, people like me who are gameplay and storytellers, like, if we wanted to have someone who did this as a career, I've never personally done it, but I'm sure there's people who have. Like, I'm sure that they've just sent the sim to the lot, gone into build and buy mode, changed stuff up, and then cheated money. Like, you have the imagination to do this, which I guess could be said about anything when it comes to new packs. Like, if you have the imagination to dream it, you probably could do it with systems that are already in the game. But so many people have already done this. Like, there's people who have been creating save files for years. The gameplay is build mode, which still doesn't sit right for me. Like, I like the fact that you can go in and take photos. They've kind of given you sort of like a gimmicky video reel of like what it used to look like and what it looks like now, which looks cool, but I mean, I'll probably do that twice and then be like, oh, I don't want to sit through it because like I've just sat and played it. So really the reveal is for the Sims, less so than it is about me, the player, because I've just sat there and renovated. I do really like the camera update that they actually talked about on the stream. So when you're actually taking those before and after photos, you have basically free movement of the camera. It basically works the same way as tab mode does. So you can move around with your arrow keys, probably WASD as well, and then Q and E to lift and lower the camera. And then you can also like zoom around the room using your mouse, which you can do on the tripod, sort of, that came with Moschino stuff. When you are actually taking a photo as a sim, you can actually pan, but you can't freely move around. I kind of hope that that camera update is coming in a base game, which I feel like we've had so many updates to photography. I would prefer that to be like a base game update for cameras that you also use in the game, rather than just being tied to the new career. I know it makes sense for the new career, obviously, because you want to get the best sort of angles that you possibly can. I do think it's a missed opportunity to give also like gameplay people that playability with the camera. I love using cameras in The Sims 4. I love taking family portraits and things like that, and that free move camera would definitely be a big help to me. And that pretty much sums it up for me. That's how I feel about this pack. I kind of feel like I'm in a limbo where I love everything that's coming with it stuff-wise, but at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like new to me when it comes to gameplay or anything like that. And considering it's a game pack, I guess it should feel new to me in a way when it comes to the gameplay. I think it's because I'm like a storyteller and I really enjoy new gameplay, and I feel like I'm not really gonna get that with this new pack. It's basically just gonna be excited about the furniture. And also, I do think it's a good building block for future packs, even though I have that worry of maybe it becoming an excuse of, well, we needed to build a new modular sofa, so therefore, like, the time and the budget went into that, rather than, like, imagine getting a stuff pack with, like, a modular sofa and then, like, fewer objects. I don't know. I can imagine us getting a, like, seating kit sometime soon. But let me know what you all think about it. Maybe if you love this pack, let me know why. You could win me over, potentially. I don't think you will. I think my mind is made up in the sense that this doesn't feel like a game pack to me personally, because it focuses on build mode and something that we've had in the game since base game. For me personally, I've been doing this stuff, like I've been remodeling people's houses and things like that, so let me know what you think. I just wanted to rant about this a little bit. I basically just wanted to talk about the new information that we got, and like it was way more descriptive than what a trailer could ever give to us. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.